New Year 12s. This is our first video for our first topic, Pompeii and Herculaneum. Because it's the first dot point, it's not going to be a long one. So yeah, just try and keep up. You can obviously pause and rewind and whatever you got to do. Right. Just some terms to know before we get started. Campania, that's the region in southwestern Italy where Pompeii and Herculaneum are located. It's like a region. I guess I think of it like states of Australia or provinces of a country. It's just a region. You've got fertility. Without going to geography, basically it's the ability of the soil to grow plants or to sustain plant growth. So when we say that an area or a region is really fertile or the fertility is really good, we're talking from an agricultural perspective. So that meant that it was really easy to grow things and could grow a lot of different types of crops. The last one is a fresco, which is essentially a painting on a wall or a ceiling. You paint on the wet plaster, and as it dries, the colors set into the wall. Okay, here's a map of our Campania region. As you can see, we've got a big coastline here. Okay, huge coastline. Okay, essentially what's known as the Bay of Naples. It stretches around 200 kilometers or so. We've got our cities here, Herculaneum, which is literally at the time, not necessarily now, but at the time, it's on the coastline. Pompeii is a little bit removed from the coastline, but still obviously incredibly close. Obviously, they're also very close to Vesuvius. This would benefit them in a lot of ways that I'm going to cover soon. Obviously didn't benefit them once the volcano erupted. As you can see, Pompeii, like roughly 10-ish kilometers or so. And then you've got your Sarno River here, or Sarnus River, south of Pompeii. Pompeii has a little bit of an elevation over Herculaneum as well. Not a huge one, but it's not completely at sea level. All right. So in terms of our natural features, obviously Herculaneum has a very easy access to the Mediterranean, being on the coastline. Pompeii, even though it's not far from the coastline, the Sarno River also enables a really accessible kind of option to get out to the Mediterranean as well. The idea of the access to the Mediterranean and that access to water is not just about having access to food and being close to water. It's also having that access to trade as well, which is benefited from the region not only by exporting products but also importing products as well. So this Bay of Naples region is quite a desirable location. The soil is very fertile here because of being so close to Mount Vesuvius. The soil is quite fertile, and it allowed you to grow and sustain a whole bunch of different crops, and a lot of them. Just a small note, we've got the Phlegraean fields up here. It was a kind of you had sulfurous lagoons and bubbling mud here, and many people thought at the time it was an entrance to the underworld, because you would literally have like mud that was bubbling and steam coming up from the ground. So in terms of our natural resources, this area is one of the most fertile places in Italy. Okay, the climate has a really mild winter and early spring. Again, it's really adding to the fertility of the region. It was really easy to grow crops. The soil, as I said, is also rich in minerals from the volcanic soil. Okay, as you can see in our fresco here, we've got plenty of our green with our wildlife as well. Okay, this kind of indicates the fertility and you know the abundance of the region. Okay, it's associated with Bacchus, which is our god of wine, our Roman god of wine. Okay, we've got a mosaic of sea life here, just showing us again, you know, some of the animals familiar. They're at least familiar with in the rivers and the oceans close by. They even had the possibility to make olives, grow olives, and then grind or press it and to make olive oil again. That's another product to ship and trade and sell. As well as just being able to grow things and make things, there's also plenty of room for animals to graze. So you do see great numbers of sheep and goats that can be used for wool, as well as obviously food. And again, that access to the coastline means that fishing is one of the major industries. One of the products famous from Pompeii is called garum, which is essentially a fermented fish sauce that as I said, Pompeii was famous for. And the last thing, salt could also be collected from evaporated pools of seawater. And just to finish us off, because we're done, if you wanted to have a look at a modern kind of form of garum, if this will make you very hungry, there you go. A nice picture of garum to finish off our first video. Thank you very much.